Good morning and good afternoon to our friends on the East Coast. I'd like to welcome everybody to our monthly webinar. Today's webinar is titled Implementing Catch Kids Club in Southern Nevada, a CATCHified collaboration in action. My name is Peter Cribb and I'm the National Director for the Catch program with the Michael and Susan Dell Center for Healthy Living at the University of Texas School of Public Health, the Austin Regional Campus. We're very excited about today's webinar, but before we get started, I would like to take care of a little housekeeping. First of all, our webinar today is being recorded and an archive will be made available on the CATCHusa.org website, along with a PDF of the presentation slides. During today's webinar, we encourage you to type in questions and comments via the questions box, which you can access through the control panel on your screen. You can type in your questions at any time, but to keep us on schedule, we will try to hold off on answering them until the Q&A portion at the end of the presentation. When typing your questions into the questions box, be sure to select the option to send your message to all attendees. Next, I'd like to let you know a little bit about the Michael and Susan Dell Center for Healthy Living. We are an international leader in conducting research and providing programs that promote healthy living for children, their families, and communities. Our work fosters improved health behaviors among youth, influences policy and environmental change to support healthy living, and advances professional education and community service. Our vision is healthy children in a healthy world. You can find out more about our center and our work in school health on our website, www.msdcenter.org. Now I'm very delighted to introduce our special guests for today's webinar, Nicole Bungum, Molly Michelman, and Joyce Barrow-Henderson. Nicole Bungum has worked in public health for nearly 20 years now. Nicole is currently the supervisor of the Office of Chronic Disease Prevention and Health Promotion at the Southern Nevada Health District. In this capacity, she directs and oversees the chronic disease prevention programs and staff. She served as a programs manager for the Southern Nevada Health District Community's Putting Prevention to Work Obesity Prevention Grant, which was a multi-partner, multifaceted intervention to address policy, systems, and environmental change related to obesity. Recently, Nicole was awarded the Program Excellence Award from the Nevada Recreation and Park Society. Nicole also is the mother of a pretty amazing 9-year-old. Molly Michelman has been on the faculty at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas Nutrition Services program since 1999. She currently serves as the director of the dietetic program in nutrition and dietetics and is a full-time lecturer. Molly is the past recipient of the recognized Young Dietitian of the Year Award for the Southern Nevada and has served as president for the Nevada Society for Public Health Education. Molly, too, has 2 hilarious and fantastic kids. Next, Joyce Barrow-Henderson. In 2011, Joyce accepted the position of Safe Key Coordinator for the City of Las Vegas Department of Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services Department. She now oversees all of the after-school programs within the City of Las Vegas limits, as well as all the staff who run them. She also maintains all the partnerships and programs that are necessary to run the Safe Key program. On top of managing all this, Joyce is also the ringmaster of her circus, starring her 4 fabulous children. My pleasure to welcome you all, and good afternoon, Nicole.
All right, good afternoon, and hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank Peter for allowing us to present today. I'm pleased to be here with my 2 colleagues on this project, who you'll get to hear from in just a few minutes. What I would like to do is to give you a quick history and an overview of how we got started and the different partners and the resources that we worked with at different times during our project. Then Molly will talk about some of the specific training collaborations, and Joyce will give you a quick snapshot of how our partnership is working in Southern Nevada. And we hope to give you some ideas on ways that you might be able to collaborate with new or existing partners in your community to implement or enhance your Catch Kids Club efforts. A quick word about where we're located. If you haven't had the pleasure of visiting us or you aren't from here, when we say Southern Nevada, we're talking about a metropolitan area with just under 2 million residents, including the cities of Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Boulder City, and Clark County. Next slide. So way back in 2006, the Southern Nevada Health District and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, as well as the City of Las Vegas, collaborated on a pilot project to integrate the Catch Kids Club into 6 after-school Safe Key sites. We had very limited resources. We were able to use existing equipment at those sites, but we did scrape up enough money to purchase the activity toolbox and the nutrition manual for each of those sites. We had working with us a few folks that had been trained as master trainers, and so they were able to train the Safe Key workers in those sites to implement the Catch Kids Club activities, physical activity and nutrition lessons. And we assessed the physical activity level and nutrition knowledge pre and post the 8-week intervention. Next slide. So our results from that pilot project were positive but not statistically significant, and that had more to do with the fact that we lost some kids at one of the sites, some things that were out of our control. However, the feedback that we got from staff and parents was very, very positive. So we made a commitment to each other to seek resources to help us implement this program on a large scale. And we worked with Catch and folks from Flag House to brainstorm some ideas. Next slide. In 2010, the Health District was awarded with a Communities Putting Prevention to Work grant from the CDC. One of our objectives was to integrate the Catch Kids Club into Safe Key and after-school programs. We again partnered with the City of Las Vegas, but we were able to extend our partnership to Henderson, North Las Vegas, Boulder City, and the YMCA of Southern Nevada, and continue to work with UNLV for training. Collectively, these entities run Safe Key and after-school programs in approximately 125 different sites around the valley, and they serve approximately 9,000 children each month. And I just want to pause here to recognize all of our partners in this effort. You'll get to hear from Joyce and Molly in just a minute, but we had wonderful partners in all of the cities and the organizations that we worked with. And they've really all embraced this project, and they've done some wonderful and innovative things. Okay, next slide. So in addition to our focus on implementation, we also wanted to focus on the development of physical activity and nutrition policies for the after-school programs that we were working with. We worked with the CDC and some national experts to come up with a model physical activity and nutrition policy for after-school programs, and we presented it to each of our partners. From there, we worked with them to develop individualized policies based on the model policy that would best meet the needs of their program. So while they are all slightly different, all of their policies include a minimum of 30 minutes per day of structured or unstructured physical activity time be provided. They all limit or eliminate non-educational screen time. They all establish nutrition standards for snacks and beverages served during the program. And they all specify use of evidence-based physical activity and nutrition curriculum such as the Catch Kids Club program. To date, the City of Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and the YMCA of Southern Nevada have all adopted policies. Next slide. Moving forward, in 2012, the Health District was lucky enough to partner with with the Clark County School District in their Community Transformation Grant, which was funded again in 2012. As a partner in that grant, we wanted to continue to dedicate some resources to continue working with before and after school program providers. And the focus of this phase is more on training and sustainability of our previous efforts related to implementation and policy work. Next slide. So our partners have conducted an equipment inventory. They've identified what their needs are related to supplies and equipment, and a small amount of funding is being provided to help them replenish needed supplies and equipment. And our partners have also developed sustainability plans. And these are really individualized documents that, in which they've outlined the education, promotion, and training efforts that they'll undertake with their staff and parents related to their physical activity and nutrition policy, as well as to the Catch Kids Club program. Next slide. With training, our objective is really to build the ranks of after-school program staff that have received significant training in the Catch Kids Club program and to aid in overall sustainability. And we have and are continuing to provide multiple training opportunities, including the master training workshops. We worked with Joe at the Coordinated Health Institute to develop an online training course that is available to all of our partners. And now our partners themselves are providing training opportunities for their staff in different settings, including staff meetings, in-service trainings, and some special group training that Joyce will talk about in a minute. One of the needs that was identified through this whole process from our partners was they wanted their staff to have a little more training in nutrition and help them build their confidence in teaching the nutrition lessons. So we have provided some nutrition-specific training at the partner's request, and that's what I will let Molly talk more about. So at this point, I'll turn the slides over to Molly.
Thanks, Nicole. Okay, so this is a picture of our beautiful strip, and we don't have the children run up and down the strip for the activities, but it might be something we do in the future. So next slide, please. So I'm a registered dietitian and I teach at the university, and one of the things that I've been lucky enough to do over a lot of these different opportunities that the health district has provided is to do some nutrition training for Safe Key staff. So this particular time around, I met with all of the different cities, City of Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas, to try and determine what would be the best fit for them in terms of training. Now, I have really a long-term relationship with the City of Las Vegas, and they've had me do a lot of training over time. So they had a really good idea, Joyce in particular, had a really strong vision of what would work best for her staff. And this time, this most recent training, we did a 2-day training. And on that first day, I came in and worked with groups of about 25 or 30 of her Safe Key staff, and throughout a whole day, and did a 50-minute cram session. And I have a slide on it, and I'll explain to you what I did, just talking about basic nutrition concepts. And I just want to say sort of overall that I had my own vision. I always have my own vision of what I think they're going to want, what I think they're going to need. But talking specifically to the folks at each of the cities about what they want, what they know their staff is going to need, really helped me to be able to train them more effectively, I think. So even though I had a different vision, ultimately I think it helped to listen to Joyce and what she thought would work best for the city. So I did a training, a little nutrition training for all of the staff in small groups, and then on the second day we came in and did same kind of thing, small groups, but working on the nutrition lessons and practicing doing those nutrition lessons from the nutrition education book. And then with the City of Henderson, I just worked with them in a very large group, spoke to the whole Safe Key staff all at once about basic nutrition and about the nutrition lessons. And then with the City of North Las Vegas, they like to road test a lot of their activities that they do during the school year in their summer program. So I went in the summer with, and in all cases, with some of my nutrition sciences undergraduate students, and we demonstrated some of the nutrition lessons using the kids, but with the staff of SafeKey watching us do it so they could see how it was done. So I'm involved as a registered dietitian, and then, as I said, my students get the chance to practice as well. Next slide. So these are just a couple of pictures of some of the staff training that went on at the City of Las Vegas. And so what we did, this was the second day of that 2-day training, and what we had them do is work in the small groups that they work with every day. So they were already with their teams, and we gave them we took 8 nutrition lessons from the Catch materials, and then had them work on them and practice them and divide up some of the responsibilities, and then come to the front of the room and present each of the lessons. So that training time was a little bit longer, and we ran through them really quickly, but we had them get up and practice them with the idea that they would leave this second day of training having watched 7 activities and performed 1, so that they could have those in their pocket, know what they looked like, know what they felt like to do at least 1. Next slide, please. This is the cram session that I mentioned earlier that with Joyce's help, she gave me the topics that she really thought everybody needed. And by the way, everything that I talked about, I really pulled as much as possible right from the Catch Nutrition book. So I was just taking out that information, simplifying it, and it's laid out in a very easy to understand way, but a lot of these staff members just were really telling us that they didn't necessarily have the time, to read through the material. So this way I was just quickly going through everything, trying to make it interesting, trying to make it applicable to them, trying to talk about how they might talk about it with the kids. And so all of those different topics. And then that last topic, the nutrition cards, if you look at the next slide, or actually one more slide after this. Yeah, thanks. This is the sample modified Catch Kids Club nutrition card. So if you look at the picture, there's the green card that you're used to seeing from the Catch activity box. But the card right behind it is a modified version of the nutrition lessons. And so what we did is we took those nutrition lessons, just pulled out very essential information, really made it simple, quick, and tried to make it mimic the same format or a similar format to what people have with the activity box, because we found that that was something that they liked, and they liked the information presented in that way. And then on the back of the card, we had some additional information, again pulled directly from the nutrition lessons, right from the book, but we just synthesized that information into kind of a smaller package. And so, Peter, if you can just go back to the slide before, please. So the other thing I want to mention is my role. It's not just me with UNLV. I really try and pull in my nutrition sciences students. And so anybody that expresses any interest in doing any kind of volunteering, which we really try and emphasize in our program, I put them into independent studies. And so sometimes they'll get 1 credit or 2 credit or 3 college credits doing something related to Catch or Catch Kids Club. And so I just bring them with me and I sort of demonstrate what I'm going to do out there. They get to see me out in the field, and then ultimately I try and build up over the 3 or 4 years that they're with me opportunities for them to feel confident in providing these lessons themselves or working with alongside the folks in the different cities. And the really nice relationship is that the people in the SafeKey program, they are the experts on kids and how to work with kids and how to discipline the kids and how to talk to the kids. And my students are gaining some expertise in nutrition, and it's a little less intimidating when they can go in and feel like they have a little bit of expertise that they're building, but they've also got the support of people who have the expertise in working with children. And so they get better and better at doing it, and they feel like they've got something to give, but they also are learning a lot about how it's done out in the field. And then we also have dietetic interns. We have a dietetic internship for people who want to become registered dietitians. And so we've built a really nice partnership with both the city of Las Vegas and also with the health district, so our students get the opportunity in some cases, not all of them, but many of them, to spend some time working in the after-school program and helping to even do some of the lessons or kind of help the folks out in the city to find ways to improve upon what they're doing with the nutrition lessons. Okay, next slide, and then the one after that, please. Thank you. So after we had this last training, just with the City of Las Vegas group, we did a little survey monkey survey to find out how we did with the training. This is just a little bit of the data that we gathered. So 1 month following the training, we asked them if they had since the training presented a lesson. By the way, the training was right at the very end of the summer, right before they go back for the school year. And so at that point, 1 month in, 57% had presented a nutrition lesson, specifically one of the 8 that we had modified from the training. 90% said that they were already implementing some of the lessons at that point. 38% said they were using the ones directly from the book, and 48% said they were using these modified cards that we had made for them, those lessons. Also at that point, 92% said they had plans to present a lesson from the training, and 90% said that the training had, quote, made it easier, or, quote, it's going to make it easier to present. And that was really our goal, to help with demonstrations, with the opportunity to practice, with the opportunity to see fellow SafeKey staff performing the lessons, to just really get a strong feel for it and to be able to go out and do it more often and feel a lot more confident about it. So that's all from me. And now you're going to get to hear from Joyce.
Thank you, Molly. Hi everybody. Hi, Peter. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on the SafeKey program. If you could just flip to the next slide for me, Peter. Approximately 30 years ago, the city of Las Vegas responded to the need of an after-school program, because obviously we needed to make sure that kids were cared for, and we needed to solve the problem of kids walking home and going into their homes unattended and not engaged. So with that, today, SafeKey has grown to 68 sites. We are all across the Las Vegas Valley, and we provide before and after school care to about 4,300 students from kindergarten to 5th grade, and we have about 9,300 children enrolled in SafeKey throughout a school year, give or take 1,000. Next slide. With those numbers, I need to digress just a little bit. With our partnership, not only, I think it was like a perfect storm. Not only was it perfect that we matched up with Nicole and the health district, because without her there would have been no way for us in the city to be able to implement Catch Kids Club, and with Molly at UNLV, because we needed to get the meat of what was given to us in the Catch Nutrition book, to be able to actually make sure that the kids are understanding it. But we in the city, I have to say that the team that I have in our office that go out to the sites, I have 6 amazing full-time employees that reach out to all 68 of these sites, and without them reaching out to our staff, it would not be possible. It is beyond a shadow of a doubt a perfect partnership internally and externally, and it cannot be possible without all of us not working together and really believing in the Catch Kids Club philosophy and what it's doing for our community. So if you could just flip to the next slide. In the mornings, we have bell times for schools vary. So what we try to do is make sure that each time that we see the kids, we count it a privilege that we are the first non-family member faces that kids see, and we're the last non-family member faces that kids see in a day. So we count it a privilege, and what we try to do is make sure that we are starting the kids' day off with plenty of fun and activity. So in the morning, we do a Catch Kids Club activity for about 15 to 30 minutes, and at least for 30 minutes to an hour in the afternoon. And I want to just kind of touch on, because I don't want to read the slide, verbatim, but I wanted to just kind of touch on the philosophy of Catch Kids Club. Yes, it's excellent in providing the physical activity, and it's excellent in giving the nutrition education, but what we've seen is behaviors have gone down, teaching kids how to socialize and be kind to one another, how to work together, that kids are not targets. Bullying being on the rise. Catch Kids Club, the philosophy of it as a whole is something that we've just embraced and loved and seen the kids flourish under. And the kids are actually very anxious to play catch and to catchify games themselves, and to get to pick the game that they're going to play that day. Next slide. As my partners have said, that the response to catch in our communities has been phenomenal. Below you'll see in the slide just some of the things that some of our kids have given us, or some of the feedback that the kids have given us, as well as the parents. Within 1 year of us implementing catch to those just initial 6 sites, I already knew coming on board that it was something that we had to do, and we had to do it all of our sites. So again, if you just want to take a second to read the feedback that we got from 4th graders and 9-year-olds and and 11-year-olds who are typically, this is boring me, they really do love catch, and parents really do love to see their kids. Parents who are typically ready to go, have their ID out, it's been a long day, you'll see them stop and watch our staff at a site execute a game with their kids, because their kids are just having that much fun. Next slide. So part of our sustainability plan was not just the training with Molly, and not just making sure that all of our kids understood, or all of our staff understood, the philosophy of catch and how to properly execute games at the site. But again, with us having 68 sites, there's only 6 full-time employees that are responsible for all 68 sites. It was very hard for us to maintain the quality and the integrity of catch the way that we really wanted to. So we came up with the Catch Super Crew, and that Super Crew is a group of 4 members right now that go to sites. So they kind of do hands-on training, because what we found was that there are different layouts of schools, and some of our programs are in portables, and some of them are in cafeterias, and some of them are in classrooms. So we needed to be able to see what their locations were, so that we could speak directly to their problems in regards to them executing games and showing them how to catchify for their specific situation. So the Super Crew goes out to all of our sites, and they do hands-on training with our staff and the kids, so everyone has a great time, and everyone is super excited about them coming out. So for us, it was just one more way for our staff to really understand and embrace catch, the catch philosophy and Catch Kids Club curriculum. You can go to the next. Each year, first of all, we theme Save Key for our staff, not necessarily for the kids, because we want to make sure that our staff has buy-in and that they really feel a part of. This year, we are the superheroes of our community. So you see our superhero awards, and they do travel. We do have them to recognize our staff that are out in the field who are really giving their all and doing their best and showing us the passion that they have. You can go to the next slide. And these are just some of our kids having a ball with doing some catch activities. And I believe that is it for us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joyce, Molly, and Nicole. It's always fantastic to hear what can be done when folks work together. Speaking of working together, if anybody has a question, please feel free to type that into the chat box. I've got a couple here. If I could throw them your way, Nicole, Molly, or Joyce, to choose who would like to answer them. You mentioned working with a lot of partners. How did you go about recruiting those partners?
Well, this is Nicole, and I think because our focus was the after-school program, so we really just took a look around our community to determine, who is doing work already and who can we reach out to. We have been successful in working with a lot of the after-school and before-school program providers, but not all yet in our community. So that's something we're going to continue to work towards.
Can I also just say too, Peter, that Nicole did an excellent job in making sure that both ends, not just me as the coordinator of Safe Key, having a buy-in for Catch, but my administration, my boss completely loves Catch. Our administration, all the way up to the mayor, knows about Catch Kids Club. So Nicole did a phenomenal job in making sure that at least for my organization, that there was no gaps. Everything was a very smooth transition for us.
Excellent. You mentioned the word CATCHified a couple of times, Joyce. Could you explain to folks what that means?
Well, CATCHified is if a game does not quite work for you, you can become a rule changer. So what we do is, I spoke a little bit about how sometimes the demographics of our programs are different. Some of the kids are in cafeterias, some of the kids are in portables. So if your card reads that you need 6 hula hoops, but your room can only fit 2, you CATCHify your game to fit what's best for you, your location, how many kids you have, the ability of the kids. We have some sites who have children with disabilities, and that they can go all over the spectrum as far as their disability. So we have to make some modifications so that all the kids can participate, because that is, again, one of the philosophies of Catch that we really do love, that everyone participates, no one is left out.
Great. I was very fortunate and very proud, actually. You invited me to a training a while ago, and it was a big training. There were hundreds of folks there. Would you share a little bit about that training?
Once a year, we actually do it twice a year, but once a year we do a three-day training. And Peter came out to our 3-day training, which was phenomenal, taught us grid, which has changed our lives forever. But we have about 340 employees that we have, and during that session, we have to break down every principle of Catch, and we have to teach our staff exactly how we want them to run it. The whole purpose of putting Catch or implementing Catch into the Safe Key program for me was raising the bar, or raising the caliber of programming for after school programs. And every recreator knows that you don't want to be called daycare, or we are recreators, and it's vastly different. And no disrespect to those who do that, but we with Catch, we really did take our program to a whole nother level.
Peter, this is Molly, and I just want to add something that I don't think we've mentioned, and pardon me if we did, but one of the things, and I don't know how unique this is from place to place across the country, but one of the things that's interesting, I think, about our Safe Key staff in Southern Nevada is the wide range of folks that are working there. You can be 18 years old, or you can be, I don't know who your oldest employee is, Joyce, but you've got some up there, some AARP members in there, and some are teachers who do this before school or after school, some are students, some are grandparents, some are all different kinds of people with all different levels of education, with all different kinds of backgrounds. Some people have been working there for 10 years, some people have been working there for 2 months, and there's turnover in this kind of a job. And actually in the city of Henderson, I think the employees can be 16 years old. So as we develop these trainings, every year we try and make it fit the needs of the Safe Key staff, but we are really, and we've got people who love exercise and really are interested in nutrition. We've got people who are bringing a burger and a thing of Doritos to the training. And so all different kinds of people, but what's so great about Catch is that it really does work, and it can be taught, and with these trainings I'm always thinking about how to make it comfortable for everybody, because not everybody feels necessarily comfortable about their own physical activity level and their own nutrition habits. And so we're trying to make it so they'll feel more comfortable in front of those kids, or teaching and being quote unquote role models for the kids. But it's a very, without saying any more about it, a very diverse group.
And just to piggyback on what Molly just said, is that even if we can't get them on board with the physical concepts of Catch, we can always get them on board with the social concepts of Catch. Kids are not targets. Everyone is included. It teaches good characters. It teaches kindness, and I can't emphasize that enough. Especially in society today, and what we're dealing with, and what our kids are seeing and dealing with, and trying to navigate through. What we're influencing them to do is to be good people.
Great. Oh, absolutely. I think, Joyce, you mentioned a super crew, which is a great concept. And one of the participants asked, how many times do they go and visit the sites?
They go. It depends on how many kids we have at a site. Sometimes they go out in the solid group of 4, and sometimes they break up into 2. But normally and typically they get out to at least 20 sites per week.
Wow.
And Peter, this is Nicole. I just wanted to add as well that the city of Henderson also has a very similar group that also travels to their different locations. I don't know the frequency, but they're doing something very similar at City of Las Vegas.
Great, great. Had a couple of questions here on when you're having your trainings. Do you pay your staff to come to the trainings? How does that work?
Yes, we do. We have to pay staff to come to trainings. 90% of what they're getting is mandatory, and the other is more social, making sure that our groups get to know each other and so on and so forth. But yes, we do pay them. They tend to be a little bit more attentive and show up.
Very good. Now, from the other's perspective, do the kids pay for the programs that you're servicing in the after-school sites?
The kids do pay for the programs. Their families do. We have it's anywhere from $5 in the morning to and $10 in the afternoon to $5 to or $8 in the morning and maybe $8 in the afternoon. It just varies, but we have here in the Valley and internally we have scholarship programs that we help our families out with in the community if they apply or if they qualify for the program. So we really are trying to make sure that we don't leave anyone out.
Very good. In addition to daycare and after school, do you go to daycares or after school? You work with the Boys and Girls Clubs with any of the activity and so on?
This is Nicole. We haven't with this program yet. I mean, we have interacted with early child care on some other initiatives, but with being specific to the Catch Kids Club program, we've really just worked with the jurisdictions that are doing Safe Key, with the YMCA of Southern Nevada, and a few years back with the After School All-Star programs here.
Very good. We had one question about is this going on in Arizona? I'm not sure that you all can speak to that, but I'll be happy to get back to Janet, I believe, with that information after the webinar. And one more question, if I may. Are you all working with the schools at all yet, with trying to coordinate this back with the schools?
I mean, we've done different trainings with the school district, so they're very well aware of us adopting the Catch Kids Club philosophy and curriculum. We have not yet done anything other than our before and after school programs on school sites.
Right. I guess I'm sort of saying, your after school programs, are they only coordinated with the schools, or are there other entities as well? Does that make sense?
The after school programs, the Safe Key programs, are run by the cities.
Oh, okay.
They are held
Good.
in school sites, but it is not, the oversight is not at the school district level, it's by the city level.
Great, thanks for that clarification. One last question here, so they keep coming in, which is great. Do you have any, have you collected any data, sort of like a post-evaluation with some of these kids? I know you did a pilot study earlier.
We haven't, because we're with the resources that we have, we know that Catch is evidence-based, and the feedback we've got is very positive, so we haven't done anything more than what we did with the pilot project.
And Peter, right now we're trying to figure out a way to collect data. Sometimes our turnover is a little bit high in that we have a kid who may be attending one school and then their parents move and they're at another school. Sometimes they come Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but they don't come Tuesday, Thursday. So we're trying to figure out a way that we can collect data that is something that is usable.
Right. Yeah, I know it's sometimes a moving target, isn't it? Well, just thinking about other folks that are probably a little inspired after listening to you all today. What pearls of wisdom could you share for folks who are thinking about starting up an initiative like that in their cities?
I just think that teamwork and communication is huge. I can't emphasize that enough. I know that, again, my internal group, Lelaine Collins, Michael Smith, Louise Lucci, Robin Knudsen, Susan Livesey, and Nikki Foster, and my boss, Peter Priest, we could not do this and do it at the level that we're doing it without all of us being cohesive. Without Nicole, Catch would have never even seen Southern Nevada. So she was very passionate about the program and believed in it from day one. And without Molly, like, sitting us down and breaking everything down to us, we wouldn't have even been able to teach the information. So again, I can't emphasize teamwork enough. Nicole had the forethought of really putting together some really good partnerships, and people were very passionate about it.
And I would just add, thank you, Joyce, but I would just add that the beauty of Catch Kids Club is that it's so simple and it's really all there, and so it's a great program, and we really just kind of had to sell that to the after-school program providers, and we really didn't even have to sell it because they're interested and they wanted to do things that would benefit the kids that they served, and so it was really just making the approach and then kind of building the partnership from there. And once we got into it a little bit and we started identifying maybe some additional training needs, and that's when
we were able to really bring in Molly and her students, and it's been a very good partnership.
And this is Molly, and I just like to add, and I've said this at other trainings, CATCH-related trainings before, Peter, that people should really use the local colleges and universities where you have a nutrition sciences program or an exercise physiology program. And if anybody, I'm able to give credits to students. I oversee and I help out, and I'm giving them, the students, an opportunity to learn, and the students the opportunity. And for lack of a better way of saying it, it's free help. And the students need the experience, and maybe they can help you. So if anybody is wondering about how to make that bridge with their local university or college, I'm happy to help and give you some language for what to say or how to approach them. But it's really, or even just to say what a great experience it's been over time for my students and for me. So I think that's a connection people, if they haven't made, ought to make.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Nicole. If anybody has any questions about other states, please feel free to email me directly, and I can help you out with contacts and information if I have that. But once again, thanks so much, Nicole, Molly, and Joyce, and SafeKey, and all your partners for your commitment to create and support a healthy environment for everybody in Southern Nevada. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our next webinar will be on December the 18th at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Dr. John Crumpets will be sharing with us how to use CATCH physical activities to help children positively that have neurological-based behavioural problems. It'll be very interesting working with early childhood and elementary school children and looking how CATCH can help them be very proactive and enhancing their physical experiences and managing disruptive behaviour in classes, all those sorts of things there. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Until December the 18th. Bye for now.